Have you ever had one of those moments where everything just clicks? Where a couple of words, maybe even ancient ones, suddenly unlock a totally new way of seeing yourself and your struggles? Well, we're about to dive into a really powerful story about exactly that. So this line, it's straight from a personal journal, and it marks the beginning of a huge internal shift. It's that feeling, that feeling of a breakthrough before your brain has even had a chance to catch up and figure it all out. You just know something deep has changed. So, for the next few minutes, we're going to follow this person's journey. We're going to look at the struggle before this moment, the two words that totally flip the script, and here's the best part, how that one aha moment turned into a real, practical toolkit for lasting change. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, so to really get how huge this breakthrough was, you first have to understand what things were like before. The person who wrote this describes it as living in a constant spiritual fog. And this quote, wow, it really gives you a sense of just how heavy this was. This isn't some minor annoyance. It's a deep, relentless battle that feels, like he says, as if it's woven into his very being. That phrase, lives in my bones, is just so raw and powerful. And you can see here, this fog wasn't just, one thing. It was this thick, messy mix of past trauma, ongoing lust, the shame and lies that just spiraled out from it, and of course, those deeply ingrained habits that keep the whole cycle going. And here's the thing. This fog wasn't just some passive, gloomy feeling. No, it was the perfect breeding ground for temptation. When your mind is unfocused and, as he puts it, spiritually drowsy, that's when the urges hit with everything they've got, making the battle feel next to impossible. But right in the middle of all that fog, something totally unexpected happened. A moment the author calls a holy interruption. And it all came down to two ancient secret words. The first word that landed was Eknēpsate, and it's a command. It means awake, sober up, or snap out of it. But the source is really clear on this. It's not about waking up from being drunk on alcohol. It's a spiritual command. Wake up from the fog of lust, shame, and all those old identities you're stuck in. And then came the second word, Hineni. Now, if Eknēpsate is the call, Hineni is the response. It's a declaration. It means, here I am. But it's more than that, right? It's a posture, a way of being, fully present, totally awake and completely available. Okay, so you've got this divine call, wake up, and then this human response, here I am. But the real magic, the absolute game changer, is what happens when these two ideas smash together and create something brand new. And this is what came out. Eknēpsate. It was this personal fusion of those two words, just spoken out loud in an instant, almost before the brain could even catch up. And you have to understand, this wasn't just a random mashing of sounds. The author says he felt it immediately, that it had real spiritual weight. He even described it as feeling his soul literally standing up straight. This wasn't just two words anymore. It became a personal covenant, a promise. This chart really lays it out perfectly. Eknēpsate is the call from God. Hineni is your response back. But this new phrase, that becomes a personal declaration. It's not a conversation anymore. It's a statement of who you are now. I wake up. I stand up. I show up. Okay, look, having a huge aha moment is amazing, right? But making it stick, that's the hard part. So the next step was all about taking this incredible breakthrough and turning it into a real daily system for change. And this is so important. It marked a huge shift in strategy. It wasn't about just gritting your teeth and trying harder anymore. That whole cycle of trying, failing, feeling shame, it was broken. The new game plan wasn't about more willpower. It was about building and actually using the right tools, like a well-stocked spiritual arsenal. So check this out. Here is one of those tools in action, a step-by-step battle plan for the exact moment an urge hits. And notice it's not just a mind game. It starts with speaking the phrase out loud, then physically moving your body, actively changing your focus. It's a whole body plan to just shatter that trance of temptation from every possible angle. And what's amazing is how that one single phrase just grew into this whole system. We're talking specific prayers, morning and night rituals to set your intention, that battle plan we just saw, and even a list of powerful affirmations to snap your mind right back where it needs to be. And here's a great example from that affirmation list. I just love this one because it doesn't pretend the struggle isn't real. It admits, yeah, my flesh is loud, but then it declares an even bigger truth. But my spirit is louder. It's all about choosing which voice gets the microphone, you know? So what's the bottom line here? What was the result of all this? Well, the source material's really clear. The fight didn't just disappear. What happened was the entire battlefield itself was transformed. And this comparison just lays it all out, doesn't it? The mindset totally shifts. It goes from this place of fear and just kind of wishing for the best, I hope I don't mess up again, to a place of empowered confidence. I am awake, and when I feel that fog coming, I know exactly what to do. That's the difference between being a victim of the fight and being a warrior in it. And this is such a critical point. This whole story isn't about finding some magic pill that makes the struggle vanish forever. The temptations, they might still show up. The huge difference is that the person facing them is now armed, they're awake, and they are fundamentally a different fighter. And his final quote, man, it just perfectly captures the heart of this whole transformation. It was a conscious decision, a choice, to pick awakening over just being numb. It was the day the author says they claimed their mind and body back. And so, in the end, that's the question this whole story leaves us with, right? It kind of forces us to look at our own lives, our own struggles, whatever they are, and ask, are we just gritting our teeth and trying harder? Or are we actually intentionally building an arsenal? Gathering the tools, the strategies, and the truths that can genuinely change the way we fight. It's definitely something to think about.